Hi there, folks, and welcome to the Sandlercast. The Sandlercast is a podcast where my co-host Kia Rain and I
Hello.
watch the filmography of Adam Sandler, from the very dreadful beginning to the horrifying end. This week we're watching Airheads.
And it's about some real airheads.
Oh yeah, they're Airheads. Why is this movie called Airheads?
I guess because they're stupid?
Well, yeah, I mean, I got that, but what does it have to do with the premise of the movie?
They were like, okay, we gotta give this movie a title, so...
Is it because they're trying to get on the air? Oh, that's it, isn't it?
Maybe.
Because they're trying to get airplay for their stupid, terrible song.
Yeah, okay, so I guess that's kind of clever, but you can't really tell what it's about based on the title.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the classic 1994 crime comedy starring Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi, and Adam Sandler as a trio of dumb rock stars who try to take over a radio station.
Yeah, they're not doing great in the music industry, so they take over a station, and it's a really incoherent time.
Oh yeah, it's real great. There's a couple other people who show up in this. Chris Farley's back from Coneheads. Michael McKean is back from Coneheads.
Yeah, we've got some real reoccurring guys.
Michael Richards, aka Kramer, is back from Coneheads. And whereas Coneheads had one Ghostbuster, this movie has two Ghostbusters. The black police officer is one of the Ghostbusters, and the first record agent guy, the one who they think is a cop, he's also a Ghostbuster.
Is there a
the late
Ghostbusters
Harold
movie
Ramis.
featuring... Is there a movie featuring all of the Ghostbusters and Adam Sandler?
I don't think.
Is there a Ghostbusters movie featuring Adam Sandler?
No, that was before. We would have watched it already.
As a ghost?
That would have been a nice one.
Yeah.
He might show up in
Well,
this...
too bad they didn't do it because they're dumb.
Maybe he'll show up in this new Ghostbusters movie.
That'll be good. He's really good in all of his recent films.
Yeah, there's never been a bad recent Adam Sandler film, to my knowledge.
Yeah, there's absolutely none. They're all perfect. I can't wait to get to review them.
Yep.
Get past these early ones and get on to the good ones.
Uh-huh. We also have Judd Nelson from The Breakfast Club, who is a guy in this movie, as well as David Arquette, and he's best forgotten. He's the blonde guy, Kia.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like the worst part of this movie.
I don't like that guy. He's pretty trash.
Like he's made intentionally to be annoying.
And having an annoying character can be good, but only if he's more annoying, basically, to the characters in the show, and that's the source of comedy, and not just to irritate the audience.
Yeah. Plus, we already have Adam Sandler. Isn't that annoying enough for us?
Yeah, that's more than annoying enough for us.
Anyway, we get some opening credits that are like a Peter Gabriel video.
And they're really long.
Yeah, they last forever, and for some reason there's a Motorhead song playing over them, so rest in peace, Lemmy. Lemmy from Motorhead also shows up later in the show in a cameo.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that intro was. It didn't help introduce the show to us, not the show, the movie to us at all. It's just like, oh, here's some stuff. Alright, now the movie's starting.
Well, yeah, it's just opening credits, Keo. You don't need to make them do anything. They were just some fun opening credits that lasted forever.
I don't know, shouldn't you kind of tie it in to the movie if you're going to spend that much time on it?
Well, yeah, there was occasional rock paraphernalia, I guess, in the opening credits. Look, it doesn't matter.
Okay. There was also breakfast.
Well, yeah, that's the most important meal of the day.
And a snake.
That's the most important creature of the day.
How often during your day do you interact with a snake?
At least twice.
Usually when I'm going about my day, I don't see or interact with
or eat
any snakes.
Do snake men count as snake?
Snake
boys?
I guess so.
Yeah. I worship before their altar, so.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it.
Yeah.
You're one of those snake boys.
Well, snake boy worshippers.
Yeah, snake worship boys.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that's creepy and I don't like you.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome, buddy. Weird snake boy.
So we get introduced to Brendan Fraser as Chazz, with two Z's because he's a rock star.
Well, yeah, you got to put on those Z's.
Mm-hmm.
He should have had 6 Z's and then X.
Yeah, Chazz X.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, worked for Sonic.
I'm gonna change my name to Keo.
You should put X's at the beginning and the end of your name. That's unique.
XX Keo XX.
Yeah, or maybe put an X in the middle too.
Keekso XX.
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
All right, I'm gonna do that right now.
That's edgy.
From now on, that's what you call me. You can't call me Keo.
Oh boy, that was a mistake.
Sure was, buddy.
All right. Well, yeah. Brendan Fraser's character goes into the radio station. I guess this is a radio station. I think this is actually
like a record.
Yeah, I didn't
something.
figure this out until like just now. That this place he's visiting first is a record company, because they show the guy who later plays a big part in the film, the DJ, and then they cut to Brendan Fraser like disguising himself and then going into his building. So I assumed that it was the radio station, but it's actually just a record company.
Yeah, they didn't really make that very clear, but eventually we figure it out because the guy shows up later and he's like, "Oh, well, I'm a record guy. Hey, we're going to get you a record, buddy."
Yeah, he goes in there and people immediately recognize him, so he's apparently done this stunt a million times, which maybe they should go to like another record company. There's probably more than one.
I think there's like countless numbers of record companies out there.
You know, there's also people who just start their own.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's possible to just release a record.
Well, yeah, but it won't get played on the radio.
Oh, yeah, you need it on the radio, like...
Well, this is 1994, so you do actually need it on the radio to get noticed. That was actually true. Not now.
Well, he just wanted to... He didn't want it on the radio, he wanted a record.
It's true, he did want a contract.
He was confused, he was a confused boy.
He's sort of inconsistent with what he wants, isn't he? Because he wants a record contract when he's going to meet this guy, but then he wants airtime on the radio, and like doesn't like the idea of a contract.
Maybe he just then figured out that you can do that, like get noticed on the radio. He's like that stupid, maybe?
Yeah, like he turned on a radio and had an epiphany. They're playing music on this!
I guess that would make sense that he is pretty stupid.
That's true. Anyway, he gets kicked out after the guy says he doesn't take unsolicited tapes, and he gets to see him shirtless next scene, because that's always a good sight.
Look, you gotta have a shirtless guy in one of your first scenes in the movie.
Well, yeah, establish him as a shirtless dude. Just a shirtless dude who's hanging out playing air guitar, watching videos of people playing actual guitar.
Yeah, and then we get to meet his girlfriend.
Yeah, and she's angry.
Yeah, because he's a loser. He's just a dumb guitar boy. He's not cool, man.
Yeah, he's not.
He's got no cash.
Yeah, he's cashless.
As she says, he's getting to live the rock star life, which is apparently like sitting around.
Well, yeah, that's how the rock stars live their life. They just sit around shirtless, pretending to play guitar.
Ooh.
You into that life?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna get started right now.
Oh, okay. Well, we are in a studio.
Yeah. Do you have a guitar I can play right now?
I do not.
I don't know how to play the guitar or any instrument, but
you just gotta pretend. You just gotta pretend.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I can do this. I'm gonna pretend to play guitar right now.
Okay.
Okay. I'm making the sound.
Alright, you're bad.
Oh, I'm really good, Swanson.
Never do it again.
Okay. So, she kicks him out because he's a loser.
Pretty much. And then he meets his two other bandmates, Steve Buscemi and Adam Sandler. And Adam Sandler's...
Those are the names of the characters.
Yeah. that's not... Yep, there's Steve Buscemi and Adam Sandler, that's the name. And Sandler's showing off some nice midriff. Some sexy Sandler midriff.
I really love that shirt, man. Like, I was really into that. I was like looking at him. I paused it to look at him.
Yeah, he's wearing a shirt that's cut off at the waist. And also, like, already pretty short sleeves. Did they have sleeves?
I don't know. I don't think so.
But yeah, he's a pool cleaner, and that's what he does on the part time. And he seems to be the only one who has a job.
No, he and Buscemi both have jobs. Just Zach doesn't.
Oh yeah, didn't he meet Buscemi at his job?
Yeah, it was like some grocery store or something.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so Chazz is actually the only loser.
Oh, did I say Zach?
I think maybe, sure.
Okay, yeah, Chazz is just a loser for some reason. I don't know why he didn't just follow suit with his friends and get a job.
Because he's living that rock and roll lifestyle, Keo. You know how that goes.
Yeah, just sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah.
With your loser band that has no deals.
Mm-hmm. It's important to state that we never actually see them play their instruments ever. Even in the end, we never see them play their instruments until the very end.
Yeah, we don't hear the music for a long time either. I wasn't sure if they were going to reveal that they sucked, but they didn't end up doing that.
Yeah. How great would that have been if after all of that they revealed that they were terrible and the crowd just like boos them and they get put in jail?
That would have been the best.
And that's just the ending.
Yeah, like it just abruptly ends and they're just sitting in jail for like 20 minutes and then the movie fades to black.
They couldn't do that, unfortunately, because this movie likes their unlikable characters too much.
Yeah, like they made everything work out for them.
Yeah, Maybe not. The writers...
They did.
The writers of this movie really, really like these characters who they managed to not make likable at all.
You know, make them like really awkward, obnoxious, and just terrible in general.
At one point, Steve Buscemi threatens to hit a woman.
Oh yeah, that's what Steve Buscemi's known for.
Hitting women, of course, yes.
Yeah, so they had to put that in.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Yeah, that was just a reference to the times.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. So they're hanging out and Buscemi shows him that he's got some cool fake prop guns that are water pistols in disguise, and those will never come into play.
I thought they were going to be like nothing, but then they actually were super important.
Yeah, they were sort of the key to the whole plot. So the whole plan that they've concocted, which is a stupid plan, is they're gonna break into a DJ's studio or like a radio station, and they're gonna come into the DJ's booth while he's recording and just be like, "Hey man, we're taking over," and they're gonna get their airtime that they demanded.
And it works,
kind of.
It pretty much does it. But, I mean, the guy lets him talk and he's about to put the music on, but then the big dumb boss shows up.
Oh yeah, Michael McKean comes in, he's the villain once again.
Yeah, he's... Saul's brother did a lot of different things.
Yeah, he's the villain in this show, he's also the villain in Better Call Saul, sort of.
Yeah, so, he shows up and he's a big jerk and he doesn't let them play their music.
Yeah, he's like one of many villains in this movie. This movie has an abundance of villains.
Yeah, like, it has the gung-ho cop who's... villain. Has him. Who else was a villain?
The record guy is ultimately a villain.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And I guess that's pretty much it. So 3 villains.
He was a villain for doing what they wanted him to do.
Yeah, and
except just not in the way they wanted him to do it.
Yeah, that's a bad thing, Kyo.
Oh, that's true.
When I ask you to do something, you should know what I mean, even if I don't tell you exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if I want you to do something and you do it, but you don't do it like exactly how I was intending you to do it, you're bad. You're a bad person.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, the radio station manager comes in. He's all like, "What's going on here? I don't like this."
And I think that's pretty reasonable.
Well, yeah, because that seems like a reasonable thing to do when somebody just breaks into your place and demands airtime.
Well, look, these guys are super likable.
That's right. Yeah, and that's why Michael McKean's a real drag.
He's a real downer.
Yeah. You know who the main villain in this movie is, though?
Who?
The establishment.
Oh, down with the establishment, bro. Like, seriously, dog.
Yeah, man.
Dude, bro.
Yeah, let's take it down, man. Let's take it down.
Let's knock it over.
Let's push it to the ground.
Okay, let's do that right now. Let's stop recording the podcast
and just
get up and take down the establishment.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so they take out their water pistols and just start demanding airtime, and this escalates quickly. Like at first, this movie just seems like it's gonna be a fun like type of deal where these 3 dimwits try to become famous, and then it becomes a hostage movie.
Yeah, they take the entire building hostage, and it goes out of control immediately.
Yeah, like a hostage situation sounds like an odd way to end your first act.
It doesn't just sound like one. That's like probably one of the best ways to make your movie go off the hinges. It's just to add a hostage situation.
Yeah. And boy, does this movie go off the hinges quick. Luckily, we have Kramer around.
Well, I don't know if at this point we call that lucky, because basically it just shows him crawling around.
Yeah,
completely.
Kramer is in a
tangential to the movie.
Kramer's in a completely different movie for half of the running time.
Yeah, it's like some kind of weird slapstick comedy where he's fumbling around, falling, burning himself, crawling around in air ducts.
Could you imagine how good this movie would have been if it was entirely from his perspective?
Oh my god, that would have actually been really good.
Because he's the best part of this film, hands down.
Yeah, he really is. His reactions to everything are just hilarious. Whenever it shows something happening, and then it just shows him just happen to be watching and just looking horrified, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's
there's one particular scene that we'll get to later that comes to mind. But yeah. But this starts out his sort of running storyline where he weaves in and out of the plot at random, and then at one point just disappears.
Yeah, there's just a point in the movie where they're basically done with him, I guess,
and so he's gone forever.
I don't think he even appears at all.
No, he doesn't show up in the end or anything. Anyway, he sees the hostage situation go down and crawls into the vents to escape. Well, he doesn't. I guess he doesn't do that away.
He's also the one who calls the police, then crawls into the vents, I think.
Yeah, he almost lights something on fire twice, and then he crawls into the vents, and he's just having a fun time doing weird vent antics.
And it's at first it's not funny, because we're just like, why are we being shown this for like a couple minutes? It doesn't have anything to do with what's going on.
Eventually it does play into the plot.
Yeah, eventually they finally bring it into the actual story of the movie, but at first it's just like, why do they have Kramer just messing around?
Yeah, it's like they hired him just to be like, alright, you do funny physical things, do some funny physical things in a vent, and we'll film it.
Yeah, it's just like, okay. It's just like they could have had their own movie, just guy in a vent, and it's just Kramer messing around in a vent.
Yeah, I would have watched that.
Would have been better than this.
Yeah, but yeah, it's clearly that they were trying to pad stuff out, because this is a movie that needs and has a lot of padding.
But can you just imagine though, the movie where it's just entirely him crawling around in a vent and looking down into rooms and just seeing weird stuff?
Yeah, I love that movie.
We got to make this happen.
All right, well, Michael Richards isn't very popular nowadays, Gio.
Get him on the phone.
Alright, so, the tape player malfunctions when they finally get, well, first, I think it's they have this, like, really old reel, like, looks like a movie reel for their demo tape.
Yeah, they called it like a quarter tape or something.
I don't know what that means. I'm not a music guy, Keo.
I'm not a music boy either.
We're not in the biz. We're not in the know.
Yeah, we don't know about this archaic music stuff. We just have our CDs.
Yeah, and our 8-tracks.
iPods.
Oh, you're going forward in time, okay.
Yeah.
And our iPhones.
Oh no, we don't have phones.
And our space lasers.
We have space lasers?
Yeah, they play music.
Oh.
Well, you can do both. It's multitasking.
Do we, like, shoot the space laser at the satellite and it beams music back at us? Or
No, we shoot the space lasers while music's playing.
Oh, okay.
You can do both.
Alright, so, we should do that right after we're done recording.
It sounds good.
Let's hurry up and finish this so we can move on to the space lasers, because that sounds really exciting.
Oh boy, I'm so stoked about those space lasers. Anyway, so when they have to go meet like the on-site like tape developer guy. I don't know if this is a thing that actually happens in radio stations, but it's a black guy who they establish by having him just playing bass when they walk in.
Yeah, and
like he's Muddy Waters.
And he's not taking their crap, man. He's got an attitude.
Yeah, he makes a bunch of jokes that are pretty much just, "Hey, I'm black."
Yeah, and he's great. He's fantastic.
Yeah, I will say this movie has a really nice way with like one-liners. There are a lot of really good one-liners in this movie. Some of them are ridiculous, and some of them are actually pretty alright.
So yeah, some of them are just really strange. Some of them are pretty good though.
Like I think the black guy says, "Shut up, dick smoke" to somebody.
Yeah, they like combining like just a kind of insulting word with another word that isn't.
Adam Sandler's really close to him, and he says, "You standing on my dick, man."
Yeah, that was pretty good. He was also like kind of like trying to like kind of suck up to him when he said that too.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a movie, alright. They have some interesting ones, though, like the aforementioned Dick Smoke line. Anyway, they get the tape, and we find out the name of the band is the Lone Rangers, which is interesting, because, you know, pluralizing the Lone Rangers doesn't make sense. And everyone who ever says it has to, like, question it. Yeah. Well, it's not ironic, these people are idiots.
Yeah, well, if I read that, I would have said, oh, that's pretty clever. But people were like, oh, this is retarded. This is, like, so stupid. I mean, it was stupid because the people who made the name didn't get it.
Yeah.
But if someone smart made that name, it would have just been, oh, that's a pretty cool, ironic name for a band.
Yeah. This is something.
What's something?
So, the tape player malfunctions for plot reasons. And nothing else.
Oh, because the movie couldn't end right there. They had to, like, keep it going.
Mm-hmm. And so that the tape player in this radio station that's always playing tapes malfunctions, and they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because they find out now, after they try to leave, that they're surrounded.
The cops are everywhere, man, and they have to take hostages, and it's really intense.
Yeah. Sandler does have a nice scene where he plays a game of chicken with the cop, where he just sort of...
He kind of, like... walked a little bit, and then the cop was like, eh. Then he walked back.
Yeah. Sandler's actually, we've mentioned before in Shakes how the best role for him seems to be the weird friend, and that's what he plays in this.
Yeah, like, this should have been typecasted instead of like the guy who's the main character, he's like a man-child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the weird friend works as a man-child, not the main character.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so these guys start taking hostages, and boy, are they ready for this situation. They're not.
Yeah, the cops are extremely ineffectual in this movie because otherwise the movie wouldn't have worked.
Well, yeah, the cops have numerous moments where they could have easily assassinated any of these people if they wanted to. And this is the LAPD, keep in mind.
Well, the LAPD is also known here as the nice police because they're really friendly.
Oh, right, yeah. They would never immediately shoot without hesitation.
Armed people, yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
They would never.
There's a scene where Brendan Fraser is literally on a police car shouting at the crowd, and nobody decides to shoot him.
Yeah, it's really...
Not to mention numerous scenes where they're walking around outside with no hostages.
They didn't really bother making sure to make that whole hostage thing convincing.
Yeah, they were probably just like, oh, it's a comedy, nobody cares. Little did they know that podcast would be a thing, and we would need to fill airtime.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's like, people don't seem to realize that things can be ridiculous, but things also should kind of be consistent within their universe so that it's funny.
Well, yeah, that's how you make a world feel like it's actually real, is that you make things stay somewhat consistent in your world.
Yeah, so when things just fall apart for no reason other than, it's funny, it just takes you out of it. It's just like, oh, okay, so...
Yeah, your world can be completely ridiculous, but it has to be, it has to maintain a sort of structure. Otherwise, it's just random.
Which is what this was. It was just like, okay, these are cops that... At first, they're like, just, they're cops, they're got a hostage situation, yada yada. But then after that, it's just like, oh, yeah, also, like, apparently they don't have any clue what they're doing, even though at the beginning they seemed perfectly competent.
Yeah, because honestly, I was all willing to believe that this hostage situation could just happen, but then the cop thing is a little too much.
Yeah, it just takes you out of it. It's just like, okay, so basically the world is just bending over for these guys. Just like yeah, so they want to get on air, so the cops are basically just going to do everything they want.
Yeah. Well, it's also enough to mention that apparently taking a bunch of hostages really gets you a lot of fans, because a whole crowd of people start showing up. And by the end of the movie, it's literally like a stadium's worth of people have shown up to see this band take people hostage.
Yeah,
and they're like cheering for them and stuff for some reason.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense.
I guess
it's just like
what they never really established well is that they're on the air for most of the time, so people are hearing them on the radio. But they never really established that pretty well, so it never feels like there's people actually hearing them. Like if we had a couple scenes of like random people in their cars listening to this and then like going to the station, that would probably do it, but that doesn't happen.
They just suddenly there was a crowd. It was like, oh,
yeah, like
okay.
from the word go, there's a crowd. Like as soon as the cops show up and there's a hostage situation, the crowd comes in. Like a bunch of hippies in a van just show up and they're just like, "Hey man, time to party!" Like they go from hostage situation to hostage situation.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen like maybe some random people somewhere like being like, "Oh man, these guys are hardcore or something. We gotta check this out." But they didn't bother.
No, they didn't have time for that. They needed more Adam Sandler and his deal.
Yeah, they had to have Adam Sandler get with the girl,
and he
spent a bunch of time with that,
and he does. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
No, we're actually not really, because they introduced this girl pretty early on. Like, they get in because she opens the door to take a cigarette break or something.
Oh, that's true. And she's like from the get-go into Sandler. Like, she hits Sandler in the face and she's like, "Oh, who's this sexy piece of meat?"
As he's on the ground like,
Yeah. It's that midriff, man.
Yeah, I would have been into that. I would have been all over that.
Yeah. She couldn't resist. And, it's interesting. This whole hostage thing is where the show sort of peters out, but it's also where we get our best Kramer moments, because the SWAT team arrives and the leader is planning on trying to use his extensive negotiation tactics. So he gets a call from Kramer after Kramer sees the guys with their fake guns and assumes that they're real guns, of course, and the guy decides he's going to make Kramer his inside man. And what ends up happening is scenes of Kramer sort of just roaming around, trying not to be noticed, as the guy sort of just unwinds his feelings and like his interpersonal turmoil to Kramer.
And Kramer gives him like no regard whatsoever. He's like crawling around, grabbing food.
Barely listening.
I don't think he was listening at all, just... Not even responding to it, not even acting like it was like strange or something. He was just like, just going.
But yeah, that's probably the second funniest thing that happens in this movie. It's coincidental that both of the funniest things that happen in this movie involve Kramer.
Yeah, Kramer's the best part of the movie, and that's kind of devastating for it.
Yeah, I mean, it is Kramer though, so it makes sense. He's a funny guy.
True.
Anyway, yeah, so a bunch of different things happen. We watched this movie like an hour ago, and I already forget what happened in the middle, like structure-wise. Like I know various things happen, but like I don't know in what order. Or, like, when?
Yeah, because nothing that really happened other than, like, the actual ending part really mattered. Because basically they just kept delaying it. Like, okay, so we're gonna get on the air, but, oh no, the thing broke. And then we're gonna get on the air, but oh no, like, the girlfriend is, like, mad.
Oh, yeah, they need to get this tape from, they need to get another tape to play on the air. And the only person who has it is the girlfriend who's mad, who just, like, threw it for some reason. First off, for some reason, she's listening to it in the car, and then she just throws it out the window. And
yeah, she just decided to listen one last time before she was done with it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's how that works. And Chris Farley, who is playing the inspiration for Paul Blart in this show, is...
That really must be it.
That's kind of what he is in this, isn't he? He's just like a prototype Paul Blart. Only he's a real cop.
Yeah.
He goes to track her down. He goes into this club. How much cocaine do you think Chris Farley had before he did this club scene?
6 gallons.
At least. And that probably just gave him a buzz.
And yes, they do give out cocaine by the gallon. I've confirmed this on the streets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's street lingo. What you need, 2 gallons, 3?
Yeah, that's how they do it. It's hardcore, man.
And he eventually finds the lady and yells at her because it's Chris Farley, and he has no decibel, or he has no inside voice.
Yeah, his parents should have really ground that into him. Use your inside voice, son. Use your inside voice. But they didn't. They failed him. Now he's like this.
Yeah, and for that, he's a comedy legend. Anyway, he while he's yelling at her, some like random punks on the club are just like, "Hey, let's make fun of the fat guy." And the
fat guy cop. I didn't, I don't know how common that is for people to just like gang up on a cop for no reason. Like, don't they know he not only has a gun, but he can also radio him for backup at any moment?
Yeah. So they like one of them takes his badge and eats it, and then he takes his nipple ring and just rips it off.
Oh, that was pretty gross.
Yeah.
Although it was kind of satisfying.
Yeah, it was satisfying to see Officer Paul Blart do something.
Yeah.
And it's the only thing he really does in the movie, other than fill a football helmet with cottage cheese.
I don't really get why they had that scene included. Like, it didn't really
it's just pap, Keo. It's just useless filler.
That's basically what this movie was. Like, they could have resolved the entire conflict in like 10 minutes.
Yeah. They could have just played the video and left. Or the cassette.
Or they could have played the cassette and then like maybe like 5 more minutes of people like being like, "Oh, this is great," and then they'd have a record guy come in and be like, "Wow, I'm really impressed."
Or 5 minutes of everyone being like, "Yeah, it's all right. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that's fine."
Yeah, and then the movie's just over. It just fades to black.
Yep. That's right. This is one of those weird movies that like really glorifies rock stars for some reason, and like it makes it seem like being a rock star is like the end all be all of life.
Well, it is. I've decided to become a rock star now that I've seen this movie.
Oh, this movie inspired you to be a rock star? This one?
Yeah, this one.
What was it about this movie in particular? Was it the shirtlessness? It
was Sandler.
Yeah, Sandler's pretty inspiring in this. He does get a lady.
Hey, he got a lady by just being like really stupid.
Well, yeah, that's right. He's charming in his stupidity.
Someone tries to explain this, but it still doesn't make any sense. Ladies are not charmed by really stupid guys.
Yeah. There's also a scene later in this movie where we find out Michael McKean is secretly planning on changing the format of the rock station to like easy listening, and he has a bunch of like easy listening tapes that he's hidden away in his office, and it's supposed to be...
He's a bad dude.
Yeah, that's supposed to signal that he's a bad guy for some reason, because he listens to easy listening music. The greatest of sins.
Well, being a rock star is way better than being an easy listening musician.
Yeah.
Like, what even is
gross? I barfed in my mouth right now.
So yeah, he's bad. He doesn't even explain why they did that. Like,
no, because like they say that, and then the DJ is immediately just like, "That's the worst thing I've ever heard." Of course,
I mean, I can understand a guy who's really passionate about.
Well, no, he's angry because he's going to be fired.
Well, yeah, I mean, but he's also disgusted about the fact that it's being shifted to easy listening.
Yeah.
And, I can understand a guy who's, like, really passionate about music being like that. But the movie agrees that that's, like, disgusting.
Yeah. And like, this is the part where the DJ starts to, like, side with the band, who have taken him hostage, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you get fired from your job. You decide an armed hostage situation is a good idea.
Yeah, he gets Stockholm Syndrome really quick.
Because he's really passionate about the music, though.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And these guys can rock out, man, even though he's never heard them play.
But he's never heard them play, but he knows just by how they deal with things. Like the time when Brendan Fraser wipes a contract with his ass. To which that same DJ is like, "That's impressive."
Yeah, because that is impressive. That's like,
wiping your ass? Who does that?
Yeah, I've never done that.
Me either.
I tried to learn how, but I'm not as good as a rock star.
I tried to YouTube that, because they have YouTube how-to videos for everything. But they don't for that one.
Wow, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Probably because no one skilled enough has made a video about it.
Yes, we need to get Brendan Fraser on this stat. He knows how to wipe his ass.
Get him on the phone.
And he's not afraid to use your contract to do it.
I guess I shouldn't write a contract with him because he's just going to ruin it.
Yeah, he's just going to wipe his butt with it and then give it back to you.
I'd have to throw it in the trash after that, even if he signed it.
Yeah, what if when he wiped his butt with it, there was just like a big brown streak on it when he gave it back to him?
That would have been really awful.
I could have been a writer for this movie, Keo.
Yeah, you could have, and I would have lost a lot of respect for you.
I would have been rolling in the money, though. The only thing better than a rock star is a movie writer.
Yeah, they make so much cash.
Yeah,
the writers.
They're rolling in the dough.
Pizza dough, because they're making a pizza for dinner.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So they,
all of them having one big pizza for dinner.
Yep, a writer's pizza, that's what they call that. So,
it's so big they have to roll in it themselves.
Yeah, well, that's how they knead the dough. Okay, so, the police eventually find Chazz's girlfriend, and, she goes to the radio station to deliver the tape, and, they get into this really crazy argument and Chazz is outside the entire time, by the way. Easily able to be shot at.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess if there's multiple hostage takers and one of them's out, that's okay. But then there was like more than one out.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. There's something I want to talk about here. Because she goes and finds this tape, and when she finds this tape, there's just a lone dog in the streets of L.A. pissing on it. That's
what dogs do in L.A. There's a lot of them, and whenever there's an important plot item, they pee on it.
There's just a lot of dogs roaming the streets of L.A. pissing on things?
Only plot elements.
Oh, but yeah, that was gross.
If it's not a plot element, then it's pretty safe.
That was gross and unnecessary.
It was truly unnecessary, but it added a few seconds to the movie, and did it constitute a joke? Would you consider that a joke?
It has the cannedness of a joke, but not the actual material.
Yeah, I don't think it was a joke. I think it was just something that happened, and it was just kind of gross.
Yeah. So she and Chazz get into an argument. They eventually make up, and she straight up punches a police officer in the dick. And is not apprehended or stopped or anything.
Oh, she's a lady. Ladies can do that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, and...
in this universe, anyway.
Let's not forget the great line where when she first shows up, or when they make up, she says, "Don't worry about it. I'm a bitch."
Oh, yeah, because, she was completely unjustified being upset with him.
Over not having a job.
Yeah, for apparently a long time.
Yeah.
And also, he ruined her makeup, too, and he didn't care.
Yeah, he was all in. And, so eventually, this is Sandler gets with the lady.
Yeah, he goes into the bone zone with her.
Yeah, and
which is what he should have said that. Everyone should say that.
Everyone should say, "I'm going to the bone zone."
Yeah.
Yeah. He gets with the lady, and Kramer is behind the couch watching in horror, and the funniest scene in the whole movie.
That was the funniest part. He was just horrified, then he just left after.
Yeah. So Adam Sandler sort of got involved in the funniest scene in the whole movie, even though Kramer was really the funny part.
Yeah, if Kramer wasn't there, there wouldn't have even been a joke.
No, it would have just been two people having sex, which is nice. nice.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, it wasn't nice in this because you don't even get to see anything.
well, you get to see a lot of Adam Sandler. You get to see everything but the tip with Adam Sandler in this.
Which is not what I wanted to see.
You wanted to see the tip?
Yeah. I wanted to see only.
Nothing else. Not even Adam Sandler's face.
Yeah.
Just the tip of his meat monster.
Exactly, and nothing else.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's also... This happens way earlier in the movie, so I'm backtracking a little bit. For some reason, Beavis and Butthead show up.
Yeah, they call into the radio station to tell them they suck.
Because...
And to make the chicks undress.
Yeah, because it's the 90s and we need Beavis and Butthead in here. Otherwise, it's not a real movie.
So they basically established that Beavis and Butthead are actually just people in this world.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true in the real world.
Yeah,
Beavis and Butthead exist.
I didn't know that. I thought they were fictional characters.
Boy, are you wrong. I just saw them the other day.
I want to meet them right now. I'm going to go meet them.
Okay, yeah. All you have to do is say their name in front of a mirror 3 times and they appear.
Alright. Wait, what do they do? Do they bother me?
Yeah, they say you suck. And if there's a girl around, they tell them to show them their boobs.
I don't think I want that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's your prerogative.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. Never mind.
Anyway, but yeah, we get to see a lot of Adam Sandler in this movie because Steve Buscemi walks in on them. Or technically, Michael McKean does first, and he's all angry because they're having sex on his couch.
Yeah, because he's a bad dude for being mad about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, come on. When somebody has sex on your couch, Keo, you just let it happen.
I'm just like,
even if you don't know who they are.
Yeah, especially if it's an expensive couch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you walk into your house and 2 random people are on your couch having sex, you just let it happen.
Yeah, I just walk past it. It's just like, I need to get a sandwich. I'm hungry.
Mm-hmm. I just watch intently. Sometimes I give pointers.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think you have very good advice, Swanson.
What do you mean?
You've given me some advice before, and it was pretty bad.
What, you tell me they didn't like it?
You said that all clothes must remain on.
Yeah, that's how it gets really sensual that way, Keo.
I don't like it. It wasn't good.
Look,
it was not
dry
successful.
humping is a thing, Keo, and it's very, very gratifying.
Well, I'm sure, but like that's not what we were trying to do. And you told me to keep the clothes on.
Yeah, at all costs.
And you said that the shoes also have to be on, too.
Well, any clothes being taken off before marriage is an affront upon God.
Oh, that's true. You also made me wear a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And extra layers of clothing.
Well, I told you the woman must also wear a burqa, so I don't know, but you didn't do that part. I don't know why.
I didn't have a burqa on hand. I just had to like wrap her face up.
Just go to the burqa store.
There's no burqa store in town.
What do you mean there's no burqa store in town? There's always a burqa store somewhere.
You also made me set my heater to 100 degrees.
Well, yeah, that way it gets real hot.
I don't think that's the right kind of hot.
No, yeah, it gets real hot. You guys get nice and sweaty.
It didn't feel good.
No, yeah, that's how that works. It feels real, like, yeah, sensual and sweaty.
What's the helmet for?
Oh, that's just so you don't get any brain damage. Concussions are real, Keo. All right, and we're just starting to learn the extent of CTE damage to the brain.
But how do I get a concussion?
Look, Keo, it's wild stuff. Wild, crazy stuff. That's my Johnny Carson.
I understand. Maybe I'll try your advice again. With a more open mind, because we kind of half did it because we thought it was really weird.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm telling you, if all else fails, you gotta wear that helmet, though.
Okay, I'll keep the helmet on because I gotta keep my noggin safe.
Yeah, you want a long, prosperous life, Keo.
I do.
Yeah,
and I've had enough concussions.
Yeah, you have?
Yeah, I've had like 6 or 7.
That's a lot.
You gave me 2 of them.
Well, yeah, I figured they were the only 2 you ever had.
Yeah, well. Why would you think I'd only have 2?
Because most people are.
I'm not even blaming you for giving me those concussions. I was in the wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, situation solved, though.
Yeah. I mean, I also got a concussion when I crashed your car.
Oh, wait, when did this happen?
Yesterday?
Where is my car?
I don't know.
You just crashed it and left?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to make some calls when we're done recording. Namely, a lawyer.
Yeah. Look, you know how that goes.
You
call the lawyer. I say I didn't do it. The lawyer can't do anything.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that part of the law. Dang.
Exactly. So, yeah, you have no recourse.
I guess I just gotta get the car.
Yeah, I guess I'll wear a helmet when I drive your car.
How about you just don't drive a car?
Well, get a new car and we'll talk.
Okay. Alright, so, eventually the door ends up shutting on Buscemi's plastic gun and reveals that it's a fake. I think it breaks it or something. It must, because they never use it again.
It breaks and then, like, leaks. So they're like, oh, it's a fake gun, and then that amounts to nothing.
It amounts to, like, wackiness for 2 minutes, and then Kramer shows up with a real gun that he was given by the SWAT guy and starts firing it at random because he doesn't know how to use it, of course, and ends up destroying everything.
And then he just drops it.
He doesn't just drop it. The DJ guy whacks his hand, so he drops it.
Okay, yeah, and then the DJ guy takes it, and then the DJ guy gives it to the blonde guy, Chazz. I keep thinking his name is Zach because I don't know. Because
you've been watching too much Saved by the Bell.
Oh, that's true. That's my favorite television show of all time.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's way better than The Wire.
Yeah, do you remember Screech? What a great guy.
He was very loud.
So yeah, the police end up backing off because they realize that it's a real weapon. Or as Chris Farley yells, "Mother of God, help us!"
It was a very dramatic moment when they realized that actually we're in the situation we were in before.
Yeah. This is sort of like when Chazz finds out that the tape that they spent all of that time trying to get from his girlfriend still can't play.
Yeah,
these are situations that keep coming up in the movie that are like, maybe this is the solution. Maybe this is the solution. No, none of them are.
Yeah, so the plot just stays in the exact same position, except it just gets wackier, and that's about it.
Yeah. So eventually they get a record contract guy, the one from before, and he shows up and he's all like, all right, well, me and Michael McKean here are going to offer you the best damn contract we can. And they, at first Chazz is all like, nah, man, I'm not with your establishment agenda. And then they're like, well, it's pretty much the only thing you can still do. And they're like, well, all right.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. He was going to go in there in the first place and get him to do it. And then now that he's doing it, he doesn't want him to do it.
Yeah. And they bring a pre-made stage to the roof of the radio station. They don't even, like, ship it in parts because they apparently don't have time. They just stole a stage from an already performing band.
And just no time, get the stage.
That would have been a really funny scene, though, if they had, shown a band that was, performing in front of a bunch of people, and then their stage just gets taken away.
You should have written for this movie.
Yeah, that would have been funny. Oh.
You would have probably made this movie, 10 times better.
Of course, it doesn't, eventually, it's found out that the only thing that works is their PA system. The rest is all just props. So I guess it wouldn't have worked out.
And of course, they're disgusted by this.
No, they're disgusted because the record guy wants them to lip sync, and they're all like, "Lip syncing's bad, man."
So they just start thrashing the set, and the crowd's really into this.
Mm-hmm, yeah, even though they can only hear the song playing that isn't being played live. The crowd is just real into them just destroying the instruments.
Yeah, well,
there's nothing.
The crowd got drawn by a hostage situation. Should this be a surprise?
That's true. They're real into this. Yeah. I mean, Kia, what's better than destroying your instruments? Or what's better than destroying your instruments? That's better than playing them.
Oh yeah, destruction is much more interesting than creation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I could create something right now, but I'd much rather destroy something.
Yeah, I'd rather just destroy everything.
Yeah.
Hey, Swanson, let's destroy everything.
Hey, that's a good idea. I like the sound of that. People will be into it.
Yeah, they will. We'll be on the radio talking about how we're doing it.
Uh-huh.
People are going to form a crowd and watch.
Yeah, they're going to get real into it.
Yeah, everything's going to be destroyed. The entire universe.
Yeah. And then, oh, and by the way, after that thing with Kramer, Steve Buscemi, shoots a, fire extinguisher up at him, and he just disappears from the movie completely.
Yeah, he's just gone. There's no sign of him whatsoever.
He is gone completely. He shows up never again.
He just stays in the depths.
There's no, after credits scene of him, doing something funny. It's just, he's gone forever.
Yeah, wouldn't it have been great if it showed, way later he's still in the ducts?
That would have been hilarious, but they didn't do that, and he's just gone from the movie. He drops off the face of the earth. He went back into the air ducts and fell into, the heating system.
Yeah, I don't... This is the kind of thing I joke about movies doing with their characters, but then they actually just did it.
Yeah. It was not great.
Just having a character just gone. Just okay, I guess we're done with him because he didn't even accomplish anything for the movie.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he they already established that the DJ was on their side, but the DJ takes the gun and then he just gives it up because, he needs to prolong the hostage situation. He couldn't go out and be like, all right, hand over the gun and be like, I took care of it. No.
Yeah, also, he never gets arrested for aiding and abetting.
Well, yeah, because he was a paragon of virtue.
Right, of course. Because he likes real rock music.
He's really passionate about it, as they showed at the beginning of the movie.
And throughout, whenever anybody says anything other than rock, he's all like, gives him like an exasperated look.
It's just like, disgusting. You're human garbage.
Yeah. Anyway, so they decide to crowd surf by jumping off of this 3-story building into the crowd below.
The crowd was well trained in catching people from that height. Like, they were highly coordinated.
Nobody's arms got broken.
Yeah, they did a real good job.
Yeah,
that was totally realistic.
Yeah, they took a real leap of faith. By the way, I would not have done that ever.
Yeah, I would have definitely just been like, oh, okay, I'm moving aside here.
Yeah,
wouldn't that have been a great ending to the movie? They just all jump down and die.
Yeah, they jump down and just fall onto the concrete and die.
They would have deserved it.
Well, yeah, probably. Especially Steve Buscemi's character. He doesn't do much in this movie. I don't think he even has, like, an arc. He's just a dick the whole movie.
Yeah, well, Sandler doesn't even have an arc.
Well, yeah, Sandler does have an arc, because he gets with the lady, and that's pretty much the closest you can get to an arc in this movie.
Well, I mean, main character has an arc.
Does he?
Where he learns how to... Yeah, he admits he loves his girlfriend.
Oh, remember the scene where he admits he's a nerd, and that's supposed to be a big thing for, like, 2 seconds?
Yeah,
and then the whole crowd's with him.
That was some amazing padding, like
complete with one lady saying, "I want your body."
Yeah, because admitting you're a nerd is like really hot. That's like
nerds are in now, Keo, and that started in 1994 with this movie.
Yeah, I caught on to that. Like, I was gonna be like a sports guy, but then like I figured out that nerds were gonna be hot, so I was like, oh, cool, I'm gonna go ahead and be a nerd.
You were gonna be a sports boy?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was gonna throw balls. It's gonna catch balls. It's gonna do all kinds of things.
No, finish that sentence, Keo.
What? I was gonna do all kinds of things with balls?
Yeah, okay.
I was gonna fight over the ball. Gonna dunk the ball.
Yeah? Were you gonna hit the ball?
I was gonna hit the ball.
Yeah.
All sorts of ball activities.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
So now that so they do all that, and we get an ending stolen straight out of another movie.
Yeah, I didn't know about this movie, but it's totally like the same ending.
Like, there are shot for shot scenes, like remakes between the two. They they steal the ending from the Blues Brothers, where the Lone Rangers are now inmates in inside prison, and they're playing a gig, and the prisoners are real into it and everything. And the only difference between this scene and the Blues Brothers scene is like the music style.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it's just blatant thievery. And it's kind of like, I mean, I wasn't really expecting it.
This movie was so lazy.
The movie was so lazy that they decided to end it by stealing from a better movie. Could you imagine if you were watching like a Marvel movie and it ended with the ending to The Godfather? just shot for shot, like Captain America's just like, don't ask me about my business, and it closes the door on Iron Man.
That'd be pretty. I'd be into that.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what happened here.
I'd be so hyped for the next Avengers movie after that.
Yeah, and then that's pretty much it for the movie. They end on a blatant note of thievery.
Yeah, and let's add that they're in jail for only 3 months because the record guy hooked them up with a great like lawyer kind of thing.
Even though they went back on their deal.
Yeah, so they got 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Well, the ending line is the DJ guy saying that they'll start touring in 6 months or 3 months if they behave themselves. Oh, kill me.
Yeah, literally kill me. Like, whoever's listening, please end this. Yeah. I don't want to watch any more Sandler movies.
Kia, we're not even halfway through, buddy.
The prophecy.
What?
I'm ready.
Well, I'm not.
Okay, well, I guess I'll keep living for a while.
Yeah. Anyway, this was a movie, alright. This was actually sort of weirdly like the opposite of all the other ones we watched, where in all the other ones we watched, with the exception of Going Overboard, which had no plot, started off with like just sort of randomness, and then they got into like whatever minimal story they had. This one started with a minimal story and then just got into randomness.
Well, like, it started off actually pretty strong in this one. The story wasn't even minimal. It was like a pretty good setup for a film. Like, you know, it was a loser band who was trying to get it big.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't anything huge or anything, but that was a strong plot.
Yeah. And then they take a bunch of people hostage and it gets out of control.
It stops making sense. It just becomes a bunch of padding, and it's just it fizzles out. It becomes nothing.
Yep, it's a nothing film. Anyway, that's about it for this week. And we're gonna continue, of course, because we need to, regardless of what Keo thinks. And, Keo, do you feel Christmas season coming?
No.
Well, you better, because the next Adam Sandler film we're watching is a Christmas movie called Mixed Nuts.
Oh, boy.
Sandler is not a main character in this one. Well, I think he is part of it, but he's not, like, the main character. This is a Steve Martin film. And it's a Christmas film, and it's considered one of the worst films ever made.
Oh, boy, I'm really excited for this one.
So we are in for a treat. I'm not sure what this movie's about, and I don't want to know yet. Anyway, there's a bunch, we got that to look forward to in 2 weeks' time.
It's about nuts.
And how mixed they are?
Yeah.
Or do the nuts have, like, mixed feelings?
They're both mixed and have mixed feelings. There are all kinds of mixing going on.
Okay, well
it's just a bunch of nuts in a vat being mixed.
Just a bunch of nuts. That's probably the title of the movie, the subtitle.
And it shows people walk in and react to the nuts and then leave.
Yeah. What if it would, here's the catchphrase for the movie, the tagline, get a load of these nuts.
Oh, that's a pretty good tagline. It probably is what it is. Because I can't imagine another tagline for that movie.
Yeah. Well, we got that to look forward to. But for now, Keo, it's time for plugs. Alright, so head on over to the zestyaroma.com. Well, it's just zestyaroma.com. There's no V in. zestyaroma.com.
Maybe I should register that too, and it's like the more extreme version of it.
The zestyaroma.com. Yeah, we have lots of adult articles on there. Anyway, it's filled with zesty content, including this podcast. Another place where you can find this podcast is the freakingawesomenetwork.net. I write reviews for the freakingawesomenetwork.net. By the time this podcast comes up, you will be able to see my reviews for The Walking Dead and Better Call Saul premieres. Better Call Saul was great. The Walking Dead was pretty alright. And we do a sister podcast, the TV Tuners podcast. It comes out on weeks that we're not doing this podcast. So every other week you get TV Tuners. Every other week you get some Sandler too. So you can look forward to that next week. We're still watching Hostages, which is
it's a movie about hostages, and they're gonna kill the president, and it's really dramatic.
Yeah, by the fates, we managed to start a show about hostages, and then watch an Adam Sandler movie where he takes hostages. And
I don't know which one's more ridiculous.
That is really a tough question. I mean, at least Hostages still seems to be semi-coherent. So we'll get you can tune in next week to TV Tuners to see how incoherent it can get.
Probably very.
Yeah, let's hope for our listeners' sake. And ours, I guess.
What if it gets really good?
I will be impressed.
I'd be more than impressed.
What would you be? Shocked?
Double pressed.
Whoa. You'd be like a mocha cappuccino. Anyway, if you want to send us emails, send us any questions, comments, quips, whatever you have, send them to us at the tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. It's the same for both podcasts because I'm lazy.
Lazy boy Swanson.
Yep, I'm going to sit in this lazy boy and be lazy.
Do it, I dare you.
I am. I'm doing it right now.
Oh, don't do it. I was bluffing. Please don't.
Okay. But I got this lazy boy ready just in case. Alright. I'm also on Twitter at Jesse Swanson, and Keo technically doesn't have a Twitter, but you can go at Zestyaroma and he'll check that out. And that's about it for this week. So we'll see you guys next week then, or for TV Tuners, and then another week for Sandlercast. Yeah, it's over.